Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, one of my all-time favorite watches launched at Basel World 2016, and I was present to see it. This is the Hublot Big Bang Meca-10. This one in matte titanium is a lovely piece, big but it wears small, and I'll explain in a minute. 45 millimeters in diameter. You can see in profile this watch with a 10-day power reserve, 15.7 millimeters thick, and then from lug tip to lug tip, 56.9 millimeters. Now, about it wearing small, that starts with the fact that it's made almost entirely of plastic, rubber, sapphire, and titanium. It's not a super heavy watch. You can also see the angularity of the lugs angled down to help flow around your wrist. In fact, I'm going to give you the mass of the watch because when I talk about it wearing small, I want to emphasize that it is fairly light, at just over 1/4 pound, just beyond 4 ounces. Now, throwing it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, I've always appreciated the way these fit. It's big, make no mistake. It doesn't look proportional, but the further away you get from my wrist, the better it looks. Actually, if you've got a wrist my size, but you're a fairly big guy, 6 feet or more, it's going to look just fine. It's supposed to be big, a little bit oversized, boisterous. It's got questionable manners. It is the kind of watch that is designed to be a little bit rude and insistent, so it shouldn't look proportional. It shouldn't look like a 36 millimeter Datejust. And while its manner may be a bit brusque and unrefined, it is a fun fellow, like your hard-drinking buddy at the pub. Not necessarily the kind of guy you'd bring home to mom, but a right good time, given the circumstances. And that's exactly what this watch is. So this watch is a lot of fun, and I'm going to show you some of those fun features now. Hublot has been doing materials fusion since the original watch, which combined rubber with gold. Back in 1980, that caused a stir. We got a push-button quick release for the strap. Many different straps are available. This is 100 meters water resistant, so if you want to swim on it, just get a full rubber strap or a rubber and textile strap from Hublot. Super easy to set up. You just stick it back in like a car seat belt buckle. Titanium clasp, and you can see the clasp features an Hublot H within its chassis. The way this works is all the extra length gets tucked in underneath the clasp, so there's no need for minder loops externally, so it's a very clean look. And you have to press both triggers to open it up, so it can't pop open inadvertently. Rubber on the underside, so that's going to protect the leather from the moisture, heat, sweat, grit, and oil of the wrist. Stick that back in now. You can see that the watch has a resin insert on the side. It's really a plastic insert that sort of frames the flanks of the watch. And then we've got a rubber shoulder around the crown. It is a push-down crown, but water resistance is 100 meters. We'll do a quick loom shot. This is actually a fairly easy skeleton watch to read, and in the dark even more so, and you can see the small seconds hand is luminescent. There's a lot of interesting decoration going on here, and Hublot has had the good taste to mute the metals with media blast over all surfaces with only a few polished highlights like the edges of these H-pattern Hublot screws or the screws that flank the case. Now, a flat and flush crystal over a dial that includes quite a bit. You can see a silk-screened Hublot logo on the underside of the crystal. There's a Reho outboard that allows you to read the minutes in red, white, and black. Then we've got hands that you can see feature media blast and satin for a muted appearance. 2 different power reserve indicators. This one turns red when you get down to 48 hours of power reserve, and then the 10-day power reserve in its entirety is portrayed on this power reserve indicator. We have a balance with Edicron for adjustments, beating away at 3 hertz. We got small seconds. Then we've got a unique sort of rack-driven system where the barrels drive this pinion, which in turn operates the rack, which in turn drives this primary power reserve indicator, which in turn drives the I guess we call this the primary. This is the secondary because this only shows you 48 hours to go. So barrels to pinion to rack to wheel, which is a power reserve indicator, to the primary power reserve indicator. Most of the features of the dial, with only a handful of exceptions, are muted, either media blasted or brushed, but you can see those H-pattern Hublot screws on top of the power reserve resistance coil spring that exists under that plate. Very cool looking watch. Turn it around and you can see why they described the movement as being inspired by Meccano. If you're in Europe or abroad, if you're in the United States, you call this erector set. Basically beams and girders made of metal that you can use to create mechanical constructions as a kid. And so that's the aesthetic here. 2 barrels. You can see it's the HUB 1201, 24 joules. And then they say full adjusted, which I take to mean 5 positions, because by industry standards, that would be high horology and chronometer. Truly exhaustive adjustment would be 6 positions, but I'm not giving them credit for that unless they explicitly claim it and put themselves up to that kind of scrutiny. So I take full adjusted to mean 5. And then you can actually see the barrels are skeletonized, so you can see the coiled mainsprings within the barrels for the 10-day power reserve. And also note how this movement fills the case back. Hand and glove movement in the case, the sign of a true manufacturer. And believe it, Hublot has grown up. They are now a true manufacturer. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.